So you have decided to start your own business. You have come up with an idea, and now you are thinking to which market to enter. Or maybe you have some existing venture and you are planning to expand that venture into the new markets. Well, one thing to take care of is many businesses fail, not just because of having a bad idea, but because they have entered into the incorrect markets. So, in this video, I'll be talking about some of the points that you could analyze before completing to end result, that if this market is perfect for your venture or not. So if you haven't seen my video on starting up your own business and coming up with ideas, you can watch it here. So let's get into the video and let's get started. So first is the urgency. So how badly the people want it. So let's say you have started a business that revolves around maybe mobile repair. So in the context of a customer, it is quite urgent to get their phone repaired as soon as possible because it's kind of blocker. Whereas on the other hand, just going to any movie theater to see a movie, that's not urgent for them and they can wait. So the more urgent the customer needs are, the prosperous your business is going to be. Second is the market size. So how big is the market for your product or idea? So this is kind of funny, but I always come up to the Shark Tank episode, which had this weird product. So you can have a look at this video and you'll get to know what I'm talking about.
इंडिया में फर्स्ट टाइम या आप बोल सकते हैं वर्ल्ड में फर्स्ट टाइम वी जस्ट मैन्युफैक्चर वन प्रोडक्ट नावेल सकरू नावेल फुकाई द बेली बटन शेपर.
So you need to analyze how big the market is and how niche your product is. So if we talk about like this video, you don't have basically customers, you don't have anything. But so people can buy it out of curiosity. But if you look, it's kind of similar products that are in the market, that is basically negligible. But on the other hand, if we look at the fitness industry or the restaurant business, food, you'll find it almost everywhere. So this is the market size that you have to look for your product. So third is the pricing potential. So how much price you can have on your product or services so that the customers are willing to pay you. So these prices should not be absurd, and you need to have a proper market research of different products or services that are in your niche, what others are paying and how much are people willing to pay for your services at the most. So for example, if we are just talking about some candies, so these are not products that you can price higher. But on the other hand, if we are talking about something niche or something, for example, medicines that can cure some of the major diseases, yes, you can price them at a higher level. So pricing your product should come out how much are people willing to pay, how much competitors are charging, and how much effort you are putting to manufacture that product. So keeping all these things in mind, you need to price a product so that you can make the maximum profit. So fourth is the cost of customer acquisition. So this is basically selling selling to people and how much effort and money it will take to sell your product or service to the customer. So for example, if we are talking about, let's say, monitors or some kind of hardware like the laptops, so if we have a look at the customer, so either it can be a B2B business or the D2C business. So B2B is direct, you're selling directly to the businesses, and the corporates are the big customers and can have a large orders. So if you are emphasizing on the markets of corporates for this kind of businesses, you can make a much money. On the other hand, if you are directly selling to the customers, you can't sell that much, but the cost of acquisition for directly to customers will be typically lower, but you cannot charge them high, and your volume of the sales would be low. And on the other hand, if you are selling that to the corporates, you'll be selling more. One thing to note is your customer acquisition cost is going to be high because corporates are going to order in bulk, and they already be having some kind of contracts with the competitors. So in that case, your cost of acquisition would be higher in the B2B, and in the D2C, it will be typically lower. So, third is the cost of value delivery. So, how much does it cost for you to deliver your product to your customers? So, for example, if we are just looking at some online courses and you are just selling your courses online via internet, so the cost of selling your products is basically negligible. But on the other hand, if we are talking about some kind of physical products, let's say clothes or maybe books or some kind of stationery or some kind of vehicles, so these are the kind of businesses where you need to spend more when you are delivering directly to the customer. So the next is how unique is your product or services that you are going to offer to the masses. So in the other words, we call it the USP, which is the unique selling proposition. So how unique is your product or service that you are offering to customers? So for example, if we just look at the phone case industries, so if you are just selling some kind of generic phone cases to masses, so this is going to be quite easy for your competitors to copy. Or on the other hand, if we are talking about some kind of technology that you have invented, you have some kind of patents related to that. So that is going to be really difficult for your competitors and is going to be unique to yourself. So this is the USP that defines your products if they are going to be held in the market for long term. For example, the iPhones. I think at that time they were the first among the others who were selling the touch screen iPhones, similar to the iPads. So these were the unique factors that the iPhones provided to the people, which then led them to lead the markets. So next is speed, how fast you can create that product or service, how fast you can make your customers happy. So, for example, if we are just talking about some kind of consulting business, so that are like immediate. The customer walks into you and you are there to provide solution to their problems. While on the other hand, if you are building some kind of products or machinery, you need a long time for the development, and this is going to slow down your business significantly because first is the setting up of the infrastructure and second is the manufacturing of that. While on the other hand, if you got speed, you can do everything fast, you can create your product services fast, you can sell them fast. So this is how you can tap into the market and you can join the fast growing companies. So next is how much money you need to put in the initial phase when you are trying to set up and building your own prototype. So if you talk about some kind of internet products or internet apps that are readily available on the App Store or the Play Store, you can see that there's not significant investments on the initial phase where you need to set up something, but you need to write just code. And when we compare this to something else, for example, machinery, again, you need to set up factories and the infrastructure that is going to take a lot of time and a lot of money and effort as well. So this is again comes down to the speed of how fast you can create your product and you can make it available to the masses. So next is the upsell potential. So let's say you came up with an idea, and for example, let's say iPhone, you come up with an idea, you make a very good phone that a lot of masses uses. But what are the other things, what are the secondary things that you can sell on top of that as the accessories? So think of iPhone, you have the main product, but on the other side, which are the secondary things that have been sold along with iPhones, which are the AirPods, for example. You have iPad as a main product, you have its keyboard, you have its Apple Pencil as the secondary thing. So these are the things which we call accessories, which are going to boost your revenue significantly. So and these are not something which takes significant investments, and if you talk about marketing or the customer acquisition cost, so for these type of products, all of these things are quite low because these are marketed as the supporting products for your main product. So the more you have these kind of secondary accessories alongside with the main product, you can sell more and you can make more money. And in the end, we talk about some kind of evergreen businesses. So these are quite simple. For example, if we have a look at the hotel business, so these are quite seasonal. Mostly the hotels are used during the festive or the vacational seasons when people are traveling. So if we look at in India, the so most of the time when people are traveling, so these are during festivals or winter season or the summer vacations when people just going out on the other places and they want to stay there. So the hotel business is quite seasonal. But on the other hand, if we just have a look like insurance or let's say some kind of legal activities, so these are the kind of maybe banks. So these are the kind of businesses where you need them 24/7, and these are the business that have the evergreen potential, not just in a year, but they are going to be there for long term. So these were the few points that I wanted to discuss that I think everybody should consider when you are starting up your own venture, or you are planning to expand your own venture. So carefully analyzing all these points and coming up with this analysis, that if your business do solve or do rank higher in many of these points, then I think the market that you are analyzing is good fit for your business. If not, then maybe you can come up with some other idea or maybe go to some other market. So for example, you are thinking of a business of, let's say for example, shopping mall. So so there's nothing wrong with the idea, but if the market is incorrect, for example, you are planning to open a shopping mall in the suburbs or very low density housing areas, you won't see much growth in your business. While on the other hand, if if you open some kind of shopping mall on a busy highway or some town which is highly concentrated in terms of population, so you'll see the growth of your business. So it's not just idea, it's also the market in which you are launching your product or your idea. So these were the points that I wanted to discuss about, and in the next video, we'll be talking about how you can position your idea. So maybe you have come up with a product, maybe you have come up with a service that you could provide. So next, we'll be talking about how you can deliver value to your customers. There are different kind of forms in which you can deliver value to the customers and how you can make money out of it. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next one.